Hi, I'm Don McKenzie with Colby Lumber, here with another episode of Home Tips. Today I want to talk a little bit about joinery, and it's the methods that we use to put two pieces of lumber together. So we actually are joining lumber. I'm just going to hit on a couple of them, things that I've used in the past, things that I'm using now. So one of the first things that I did when I first started doing woodwork way back when I didn't have gray hair was I used to dowel a lot of things, dowel them together. Basically where you put a wood dowel, you drill a hole, put a wood dowel, and put them together. So all that you do there is you just, you find the center of your board. I'll see if I get this up here. This happens to be a piece of 3/4 inch board, so I set my little tri-square at 3/8 of an inch, which is halfway, and I just take my pencil and I just draw along like that, and it makes a center line for it. Now, if you're not sure that that's a center line, just put your tri-square on the other side and draw your line. And I think if you notice, we came up with a little bit thicker line, and that's okay. So what we're going to do there is we're just going to drill a hole. We're going to put our dowel in, so I just take one of my cordless drills and we'll put it down here. This is actually what we call a brad point drill bit, and it's made strictly for wood. It's not a metal blade, but what it does is it has a little brad point in the center so it doesn't walk on you, and then it has two cutters on the edge. This drill bit has a lot of wear, so it's probably going to splinter out a little bit. But basically, just drill your hole, and you're done with that. So knock that out and kind of clean out the hole a little bit. But the problem you have there is when you're joining another piece of wood, how do you get the hole in the right place? So they make a little deal. It's just a little plug that goes in there, has a needle point on it. You put it in the hole, set it down there, and then you put your other piece of lumber down, just like that. Line them up, and take a mallet, and you pound them together like that. And when you open it up, you have a little hole there. And you just run your drill bit there. You put a dowel in there, and it goes together. Now, one of the problems with doing dowels is it's awful hard to hold your drill straight. So if you get it crooked, these don't want to line up very well. So the next version that I got was a biscuit cutter. Actually, the true term is a plate jointer is what it's called. But I've called it a biscuit cutter a lot. And the reason is because the piece you use is just like this. It looks like a little biscuit. So with that, we're going to make a little noise. So this is a biscuit cutter. It's a handy little tool. It's easy to use. There's a little deal on the back that you set the size of the biscuit you're going to cut. We're going to use a number 20 on this one. So you just move that to a 20, and you set it down on your board, and you basically fire it up and cut a little slot in it, just like that. So, and then what you do is you cut your other one from the same side, cuts another slot in it, and as long as you keep the boards the right side up, and I generally mark them so I don't muck that up, but you put your biscuit in there, and when you put your boards together, it ties them up. But see, what happened was I turned that board upside down, and it didn't fit very well. So if you mark your sides, then it all fits nice and neat like that. And that's still a great joint. I still use my biscuit cutter a lot. The new jig that I've got to using a lot is the Craig jig, and I use the Craig jig primarily if I'm doing 90-degree corners, if I want to put two pieces of wood like this together, and then I can do my Craig jig. So let me kind of bring that over here. This is the Craig jig. They come in all kinds of deals. This happens to be the one you can put with the C-clamp. So you just clamp it on your board just like that. Just like any vice grip, you got to kind of do it. Now, set the biscuit cutter down. When you just want to make sure it holds it tight, it comes with its own drill bit, which has a pilot hole, plus it drills out the pocket for the Craig. There's also adjustment on here. There's adjustments here, and that all comes with the Craig jig, so I won't get into doing all the adjustments, but just make sure you adjust it for the size of wood you're using. So basically, you just stick it in there, drill your hole down to the stop, and you have a nice little pocket, a pocket hole right there to put your deal in there. So then to do the rest of it, I guess I don't have a screw with me here, but I'll just pull this one out. So you take a screw. This happens to be 1.25 inches. It's a coarse thread screw. They make fine thread and coarse thread. Coarse thread is what you should use for softwoods or particle board. I do a fair amount of building with particle board. I like it. It's inexpensive. It stays flat. But you basically put, you're going to join these together. You put your screw in there. And this joint holds really, really well. Just like that. And you got it done. And, so there's all, like I said, there's all kinds of settings, different ways of doing things. Just one of the 3 things that I've used through the years. So I think I'll wrap it up with that. Remember, every new project deserves a new tool. Doesn't have to relate to the tool. That's how I got most of my tools. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Come see us at Colby Lumber, where we're more than just a lumberyard.